the timber at the break of dawn. Boot tracks pounding while the world stares on. Got a bow on my back, got a rod in the truck, chasing every heartbeat, running down that luck. Wind in the trees, yeah, it calls my name. Out in the wild where we play our game. Every shot taken, every cast we throw. It's the life we choose, it's the life we know. This is Twisted Arrow, feel the fire ignite. Raising up the heartbeat, turning day into night. Yeah, we hunt, yeah, we fish, yeah, we live outside. Crank the volume up louder, let the wilderness ride. Twisted Arrow, we're locked and loaded, let's go.
Alright guys, so the spot that I'm going into today, I haven't really hunted it too much. I came out here one day during rifle season and I seen a really nice buck. But I had already filled my buck tag, so I couldn't do anything about it. But with how cold it's been, I feel like this will be a great place to hunt. I actually had a subscriber ask me to give a few more pointers on late season hunting. This is the best way that I can say. You see how thick it is in here? You want to find really high stem count, and cedar thickets are really good places to do that because they help block the wind, because they don't lose their needles. So it's basically just creates a barrier between the deer and the wind. And you can see here, I mean, there's rubs, there's scrapes all down this old road, and directly at the end of this cedar thicket is a really big private field. So they have bedding, food. So I'm gonna slip in here, and I'll give a few more pointers as I move in. I'm just trying to get a little bit further in here, get a little farther from the truck, and then I will continue this video. Alright guys, well I was just slipping through this little thicket spot down here, and I just found this really nice old road that's just beat down with trails, and I was getting ready to find me a tree to set up in, and I happened to look up in front of me and I just jumped a big doe. She was bedded down right underneath a thick cedar tree. And something to keep in mind, everything down here on the ground still got frost on it. It's 40 degrees. So what that's telling me, this place is staying a lot cooler than everywhere else, but it's also trapping the thermals here longer. So these deer are going to feel a lot safer because they can smell things more. Instead of your scent rising and going away from them, it's going to stay down here in this bottom with them. Because like her, I mean, I never would have known she was there if she wouldn't have jumped up. I mean, the cedar tree that she was under, she was completely covered. But I'm probably still going to find me a tree somewhere right here to set up in, and we'll see if anything else comes slipping by here tonight. Okay, so this spot that I found, my wind is completely wrong to hunt it, but if we had a little different wind, it would be perfect. Right here behind me, 15 yards, there's an old barbed wire fence there, but it's still a solid fence. Like, it'd be hard for a deer to get around it. And then right down there behind me, it's a big frozen pond, but it's not just like a little round pond. It's really long. and it's only 40 yards between that pond and that fence. So if I had different wind, I would definitely be set up on this, because it's going to be a great pinch point to catch these deer moving through this thicket, because they're not going to want to jump that fence and go into the open timber, and they're not going to want to walk across that ice. So this would be a great spot to set up. Like I said, I don't feel like I could get away. Another great way to find how deer are moving back and forth, I just found where this power line company cleared out this old power line, and it was very fresh. So all the sign that I'm seeing in here is late season, after rifle season. Because with rifle season, whenever I was in here, this high line was so thick you couldn't see across it, and now it's bare dirt. So there's a nice buck track. So what I'm doing right now is, since all this dirt is still really soft, I'm walking through here looking for where they're crossing this high line, or if they're walking down it. I don't know if I'm gonna get up in a tree this evening or not, especially over here. My wind is just going in complete circles. Okay, let's see how I just walked up this hump, and then right here you got a flat spot, and then it goes up again, and that flat spot continues through the woods both ways. This right here would be a great crossing. So check for tracks here. Oh yeah, they're coming across right here, and they're going right up next to that big pine. But like I said, with my wind blowing the way it is, I don't think I'm gonna get up right here. I think I'm just gonna keep doing a little scouting, leave this alone, and never know. I still got 3 hours till dark. I might end up finding something that'll work, but I'll keep you posted. Alright, so with the way the wind was acting there, it's just not a great idea to hunt that spot. I found some really good sign. I found some really nice places for another day. Right now, guys, late season, these deer have been pressured so hard. I mean, you got to think they've already been getting hunted constantly for 2 months. And then in Missouri, for some reason, they feel like we have to have 30 different rifle seasons. So yeah, these deer, they get hunted really hard. They get pressured. So right now, with them basically being in hiding in survival mode, you don't want to go in there busting all these deer out. You don't want them thinking that the area they're in is not a safe zone. So what I did is I backed out of there. I'm gonna go check out a couple more locations, see how that plays out. I've been on Onyx checking wind in other spots. We'll see, but yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna keep looking around, see what we can't find, and hopefully we come up with something decent before the evening's over. All right, so if you're hunting Missouri late season, and what I mean by late season is December to January, this video is gonna save you a lot of time, a lot of wasted sits, and a lot of frustration. What I'm gonna go over is food, cover, and how I adjust my sits based on the weather. Okay, so when you're trying to find that late season food source, it's cold, everything's wiped out, you're gonna have those hunters, they're gonna be like, well, I understand there's a cornfield right over here, but I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna hunt this briar patch. Now this spot that I'm at, there's not a crop field for 40 miles. So yes, I'm looking for those leftover acorns, those green briars, but if you have ag, keep in mind, cut corn will beat woods every time. Late season, what you want to find is you want to find corn, beans, wheat, or any kind of standing grain. If you can find those, you're going to find the deer. If you can't find the best food source on that property, then your hunt's already failed before you get started. And what I mean by that is, say say I go up north, I'm hunting over this big acorn ridge, okay? There's a big oak flat, but directly below me on private, there's a giant standing cornfield. It don't even have to all be standing. It could have a couple standing strips. Chances of me seeing deer feeding where I am midday is slim to none. You're probably going to catch them right at dark, slipping through, going to the corn, or at first light coming from the corn. Chances are I'm not hunting in the mornings late season. And the only reason I say that, those deer, they're already completely spooked. Okay? Every mature buck out there has already either been shot at, been jumped, something. They know where you enter, where you exit, where you park, where you walk. These bucks are smart and they've already learned it. So you want to keep from educating them further. So take the spot that I was scouting earlier, for instance. The power company came in, they just cleaned a big trail all the way down this high line. That's where I was walking. Those deer already know there was people there. I used that to my advantage. I walked it. I stayed downwind of the cover, so that way I didn't have to worry about anything up in the brush smelling me, nothing like that. I didn't make any noise. That is how I'm going to hunt the cover. Is late season, if you just go busting straight through a bedding area, chances of that deer staying is very slim, because right now they're in survival mode, guys. They want to find a place where they're not going to die. So after all this hunting pressure, rifle season's been over. They got shot at for 3 weeks, and here in Missouri they feel like we need 30 different rifle seasons, so the deer get even more pressure. Every piece of public land here during gun season has 50 cars in it. It's just a really hard time after that for people to find deer. So that's why most people after Thanksgiving, they're giving up. But me, that's whenever I'm getting out, because the pressure's starting to die off in the woods. The deer starting to kind of settle back down a little bit. Late season is when these big mature bucks make mistakes, because again, they're in survival mode. They're going to be going to those food sources. You might only see them there maybe 30 minutes before dark, and they might just be standing on the edge waiting to come in. So what you want to find is, what I recommend doing is, if you're going to be hunting a big cut ag field, do an observation sit. Sit as far away from where you expect those deer to come out as possible. Sit there with a spotting scope, sit there with binos, just sit there. Watch where all these deer are filtering out, and if you see a buck, pinpoint the direction that he was coming from. So that way, that following day, you can try to intercept him before he gets there. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is the best time to catch these big bucks making mistakes. In December and January, guys, let's be honest, you're wasting your time doing all-day sits. All you're going to do is you're going to educate these deer. You're going to do more damage than good. If your wind at any time during that sit is going to hit bedding or food, go home. Leave it alone. You want to kill these big bucks, wait until those brutally cold days. I'm talking single degrees, foot of snow, something. You want to find the low temperature. You want to find just the worst conditions possible. That's going to get those deer up moving early. And what I recommend is, if you are going to go hunt cut crop on an extremely cold day, get in at about 1 o'clock. You want to sit to where your wind is going to be blowing away from the field. But obviously you don't want the bedding to be behind you. You want the bedding to be either to your right, across from you, or to your left. You want that wind to hit you in the face, and you don't want any deer to come from behind you, right? Everyone knows that's not going to happen. Wherever you set up, chances are there's going to be a deer come behind you at some point in time. Unless you're sitting on a big bluff, on a big river, something, you're going to have a deer get behind you. Mistakes are going to happen, but what you want to make sure is, you want to make sure that the majority of the deer are going to come from upwind, whether, like I said, directly across from you, to one side or the other. Don't put them behind you. And if you've got to sit 20-30 yards off of that food source, do it. But I would recommend getting in, noon, 1, 2 o'clock, somewhere in there. Sit for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Don't waste your time on these mornings. Don't waste your time midday.
Just get out there, hunt the food on the cold days, because remember, cold kills bucks. You're going to hear that in October, November, December, January. Cold fronts kill big bucks. That's not just something that old timers say, that is a fact. Okay, whether these deer are rutting, whether these deer are feeding, whether these deer are just trying to survive. When it gets cold, they're gonna move. I don't care what the wind's doing, I don't care if it's snowing. If it is down extremely cold, the immediate evening after, be sitting there, because those deer are gonna get up, those deer are gonna go to food. All right, guys, so this is getting ready to close out the video. Okay, we've covered food, we've covered weather, we've covered cover. Now I'm going to tell you, be aggressive, but be smart about how you do it. Okay, because these deer, they're not going to be up cruising a mile down a ridge. Okay, they want to be where they can stand up out of bed within a couple minutes. They're at where they're wanting to be. They're not going to be cruising forever. So you've got to be aggressive. So you've got to get in there. You've got to get up tight with them without busting them out. Play your wind, play your cover, play your sound, play everything possible that you can to be completely undetected trying to get in on these bucks. A mature buck, everyone knows whenever he's coming to feed, you're going to have all the does, you're going to have all the young bucks come out into the field first, and then you're going to have a deer just standing at the edge watching. I don't like sitting directly over the food. I want to slip back maybe 20 yards the direction I expect them to be coming, with the right wind, of course, and I want to catch him on his way to the food. Now you can sit in a big box blind over a cornfield, whatever. You're going to see deer. Chances are you're probably going to kill one. But for the public land hunter like myself, that's just what I want to do. Is I want to get aggressive. I want to get up tight with that deer. I don't want to give him the chance to get around me. Now, that's pretty much going to sum up this video. Whenever it comes to late season, guys, hunt the food, hunt smart but aggressive. Do not get smelled. Stay out of the bedding if you can. Don't let your wind hit food. Don't let your wind hit bedding. Just be smart. Kill a big buck.